What up, fam? It's your boy Aaron coming to you once again from First and Faithful. And fam, that was not good. That was pretty embarrassing, if I'm being completely honest about it. Niners dropped their season opener 27-23 to the Arizona Cardinals in a game that they should have won. Period. We're going to go over some grades for the team, hand out some game balls, some deflated balls, and go over what I think was the most important play of the game, the play that, just changed everything. But first, let's go through a quick recap. If you missed it, Niners start off really nicely, both sides of the ball. We're up 10-zip just like that. Mostert with a great 76-yard touchdown catch, hit 22.7 miles per hour on that catch. Insane. Niners are feeling good. Defense is playing great. But unfortunately, a blocked punt gifted the Cardinals a very easy touchdown. Just like that, it's 10-7 Niners, but that's all right. It's all right. The Niners defense seemed like they were still up for the task. In the first half, they really kept Murray from, really getting out. They really contained him, where even when he tried to run, there were short runs. They weren't big gainers. Hopkins was getting his, but they were really short plays, 5 yards, 6 yards. He wasn't breaking off huge plays. They trade field goals at the very end of the half. Niners are going into the half, up 13-10. And you felt like it should have been more. The Niners missed a touchdown when they went for on 4th and goal from the 1. Didn't get it. Also had to settle for another field goal when they were in the red zone. And, those red zone issues from last season, as good as this team was offensively, scoring points and yards, not good in the red zone. That carried over into this game. Crazy stat. Niners were in the red zone 4 times, came away with 10 points. 10 points in the red zone, like in 4 trips. Even if you just kick a field goal each time, that's 12. So, to only come away with 10, in the game that you only lost by 4, that's just crazy. And that was kind of how you felt, right? You watched the game, and at halftime, I just, I didn't feel good about it. Like, just, hey, we should be up at, 24-10. We should, this should kind of be, runaway at this point. Unfortunately, was not. Third quarter, the offense couldn't do really jack squat, and we'll get more into that when we get to the grades. Defense continued to kind of hold their ground. Shut out the Cardinals in the second quarter, but in the fourth quarter, the dam finally burst. Because the offense couldn't sustain any drives, the defense was just out there so much, and it just burst. And when it did, it broke badly. Murray just took advantage, and you could tell the defense was gassed. You could tell they were over pursuing. They weren't staying in their contains. The QB spies were it was not good. Murray ran for a 22-yard touchdown to put the Cardinals up 17-13. Niners come right back, less than 2-minute drive. Boom, touchdown pass to Jet. They retake the lead 20-17, but on one hand, it was great. They came right down, they score. The only problem with that is it was literally less than a 2-minute drive. Defense has to go right back out there. They're gassed. They needed the Niners to kind of sustain, a 5-6 minute kind of, give them a chance to get their breath back. That didn't happen. Tired defense goes right back out there. Bad miscommunication. DeAndre Hopkins is left, completely open. He, walks into the end zone. Bam, 24-20. Cardinals up. Niners get the ball back. They get into the red zone. They get close. Couple just terrible plays, terrible throws by Jimmy that we'll get into when we get to the grades and later. Come up short. 24-20 is the year end, the final tally. And I gotta be honest, this one was frustrating. For me, it was even more frustrating than the Super Bowl loss. The Chiefs are a very, very, very good team. I don't feel like the Cardinals are on the Niners level, and to lose to them in that way, it's just very frustrating. Now let's go over the grades, and I gotta be honest, it's not gonna be pretty for really anybody. when I have a chance to break down the all-22 film, I may go position by position. But for now, I'm just going to give, a grade for the offense, a grade for the defense, and a grade for coaching. On offense, it's a solid D. Honestly, it should be more like a D-, but most of that is on Jimmy. He gets an F from me on this game. It wasn't all his fault. The interior line wasn't the greatest. Honestly, the right side of the line was not good. McGlinchey did not have a very good game, and either did Brunskill didn't play that great either. Actually, their center, Grasu, I think was his name, or is his name, actually gave up 0 pressures. He was actually not that bad, but McGlinchey and Brunskill seem to have some issues on that side. McGlinchey still struggles in the pass game. Run game is where McGlinchey is a top 10 right tackle. Pass blocking is not his forte yet still. But even having said that, like I said, Jimmy gets an F from me. Or Jimmy gets an F. When you add up everything, the bad throws, everything, and then you add that screen throw to Kittle where he hangs him out to dry. Buddha just, hits him right in the knee. Looks like maybe a hyperextension. That was just the cherry on top of a shit show Sunday. That's an F for me. I'll get more into Jimmy when I hand out the deflated game balls later. The running game wasn't that great. Had some moments, but just, again, it's like the offense as a whole couldn't sustain anything. Mostert averaged 3.7 yards per carry. Not terrible, but obviously, you want to see something better than that, or what we're used to seeing from him, obviously. Pettis, the receiver's just not good outside of Bourne. Pettis ran 40 routes, was targeted once. I don't even know where to start with that. And the one target he had, he alligator armed it. It was his chance to really make a play on the ball. I know he was kind of double covered, but you have to try and make a play. And he just kind of looked like he pulled up, alligator armed it, like he just didn't care. And he never saw another target after that. So I don't even know. That's a completely, he may just be a lost cause at this point. I'm not really sure. He was someone I highlighted as an X factor in my previous video previewing this game, and he shit the bed, honestly. Bourne, only receiver to really do anything, but even he wasn't faultless. He had a chance on the throw into the end zone on the final drive, had a chance to come back for the ball, make a play on the ball. He didn't. He kind of did like a weird kind of jump up thing. He should have came to the ball. There's a good chance because Peterson didn't turn back to the ball, is going straight at Bourne. If he comes forward and initiates a contact with Peterson, he's getting that PI call. It's first and goal, ball at the 1. Instead, he kind of just jumped straight up. He's trying to, try to catch it. That's fine. But because he didn't attack the ball, it's incomplete. They don't get the call, led to the game, losing the game. Again, the throw was 98% on Jimmy. Terrible throw, but, KB's got to come back for it. The line was, like I said, Trent was great. Trent was awesome. Trent looked like he hadn't missed a step. I think he only allowed 1 pressure the entire game. Looked great out there. Like I said, the backup center, which is basically the third string center, 0 pressures allowed. Did about as well as you could do. Tomlinson did pretty well. The right side line, not so good. So it was kind of shaky. And then Kittle, after he came back from the injury at the end of the first half, had 0 targets. Reed only had a few catches, but nothing spectacular. It was just like I said, a solid D for me. Just kind of moments sprinkled in, but overall, it's just not from what we expect from this team. On the defense, I give them a C. I thought they played well for about 3 quarters, but it reminded me of the Super Bowl when they went south. When they finally broke, it went south really quickly. Like I said, it reminded me of the Super Bowl. They looked gassed, and they just couldn't make a play when they needed to turn the tide. You just tell they were tired. They just couldn't make that play. That whole fourth quarter, they just needed a play, and they just couldn't do it. The reason I'm more forgiving of their performance as opposed to the offense is because of the offense. They got pretty much 0 help from the offense. Offense couldn't sustain drives and give the defense a chance to rest. Just, a 4 or 5 minute drive. Give them a chance. Did not do that. And it hurt the defense. Fun stat for you stat heads out there, the Niners defense played 78 snaps yesterday. 78, which is the most the Niners defense has been on the field in a game since 2017. And that, the hurry up, the first game of the season with no preseason and bad air quality conditions, that is a recipe for disaster. And Chef Kyler Murray had no problem serving it up Gordon Ramsay style. That's just how that went. Coaching grades, yikes. D, and this is almost all on Shanahan. Holy shit! I don't even know where to begin on Shanahan. Someone on Twitter said it best: the only person who can beat Shanahan is Shanahan, and I couldn't agree more. For a coach that, the entire league considers to be an offensive genius, the game plan was very vanilla. Where were the jet sweep motion plays? We saw so much last season. Where are the bootlegs? Get Jimmy in the open space, some easy completions to the running back. Just, there was none of that. And honestly, watching the game, Shanahan, to me, called this game like it was a preseason game, and he didn't want to show any of his cards, right? He didn't want to show too much. That's how the game was called, like it was preseason. He was like, oh, we're just trying to make sure no one gets hurt. It's not a big deal. We're gonna score some points, and but let's not show too many plays. Let's not show too many formations. Let's just keep it base it preseason. That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. The 4th and goal from the 1. Call, perfect example, just kind of bad play calling. I love the call to go for it right there. I love that call. You're playing with, honestly, is an inferior team. You have a chance to put your foot on top of their necks and press hard. You take that from the 1. If you can't get 1 yard, you shouldn't be out there anyways. But why isn't Jeff Wilson in there? He's supposed to be your short yard big back, right? I thought that was like literally why he made the team over JaMychal Hasty, because he gives that continuity. He's the big back specifically for these situations, and instead you give it to Mostert. The line gets almost zero push on there. Mostert maybe got in. They reviewed it, inconclusive. They don't have an overhead shot. Maybe you see overhead shot. Maybe the ball breaks the plane. I think it might have, but again, it's inconclusive. The original call was no, so they kept it as no, and that was a huge, I just didn't understand that. And, and the other thing I had a really hard time with was why the lack of urgency for the entire game. It seemed to only be when they got behind. When the Cardinals went ahead, then all of a sudden the offense, the play calling, it seemed like, oh my God, let's start playing now. Like, where was that before that? Where was that for those first 3.5 quarters? It just seemed like it wasn't there. And then it had to be the Cardinals had to score for then the offense and the play calling to wake up and realize, hey, hey, we're in the real game. Let's play. I didn't understand that. It's just weird. Sometimes, as much as people made fun of Harbaugh kind of going ham on the sidelines. Like, sometimes I feel like maybe Shanahan needs to do that, maybe, really wake his people up. I'm not a big fan of the yelling coach, but I think every once in a while, sprinkle that in, because they need to wake up and earlier than that. This game could have been over. They could have blown out the Cardinals and just didn't, and it's dumb. And now for the play of the game for me. Really simple. The holding penalty against K'Wan Williams on 3rd down late in the 3rd quarter. Cardinals were at their own 6-yard line. And this has nothing to do with whether I thought it was a bad call. I think it was, but it has nothing to do with that. It's the effect it had after that. They thought they're getting off the field. The offense is in theory going to be set up in excellent field position. Probably going to get at least a field goal out of this. They get a touchdown, it's probably game over. Instead, Cardinals get to stay on the field, automatic 1st down, and that is what ended up being a 14-play drive. That went, I think it was almost 7 minutes. 14 plays against a defense that was already starting to gas. That took the last bit of energy I think the defense had after that. Especially when, like I said, Cardinals go down, they score their touchdown. The Niners come out and score a touchdown in less than 2 minutes. It just took every last bit of energy the defense had going after that. And you can see it. It was just done after that. And that for me, that was the play. I know a lot of people look at the fourth down and the block punt. For me, that penalty was the play. If they get him off the field right there, like I said, offense has a chance to get a field goal. They're up 6, maybe a touchdown. They're up 10. It's a different game. It's a completely different game. They didn't, and that was it for the defense. And you saw what happened. Let's get to let's go some good news now. Good news, game balls. Trent Williams gets the first one. Like I said, he looked really good out there. Bright spot. His demolition block early in the game, if you guys saw it on Twitter, was insane. Just I could watch it over and over and over and over and over again. The other game ball, I'm gonna go with Jet McKinnon. First regular season action in almost 1,000 days. It's just great to see him out there. Scored a touchdown. Was used a lot, to help pass block. I thought he did a really good job in that. Also showed some really nice moves on some runs. He had the one on third. I think it was the 3rd and 17 before they went for him 4th and 1. So while they went for it, it was 3rd and 17. He gets 16, gets him down to basically the foot-yard line. Honestly, if Pettis had thrown a better block, McKinnon probably gets into the end zone, but he showed some real shifty moves, looked great, honestly, and I expect to see him used more and more heavily in the passing game, take advantage of him in open space. So good for both of them. A lot of honorable mentions, but let's get to the deflated game balls. And number one's got to be Jimmy G. What the fuck? I do a whole video on Jimmy, but I'm just gonna focus on the things from this game. And this was easily the worst game I think he's played since the preseason game against Denver last year, where I think he had like a 0.2 pass rating. He looked atrocious, where people were literally, were legitimately considering like, whoa, is he okay? Should he be the starter? This I know last year he had that bad game, the overtime game against Seattle didn't look great, but this to me, this was just terrible. I'm sorry. This was just, it looked like he was feeling pressure when it wasn't there. He had real happy feet. And I don't know if he just wasn't trusting what he'd seen, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Like what happened to Gunslinger Jimmy? What happened to Gunslinger Jimmy that we saw last season? On 3rd down, Gunslinger Jimmy was the best, right? He came out, he'd throw those really tight, like a sniper, just tight window throws. That was Jimmy last season. We did not see that yesterday. It was like he was scared to make throws. He played scared. He played like he was trying to not make mistakes. He was scared to make a mistake. And you can't. At the end of the day, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy playing that way. That's just my opinion. If he's gonna play that way, I don't think you can win with him. And you saw it on the Bourne pass. He saw him late. Bourne runs a great double move. A little stutter and go. That as soon as he stutters and it heads upfield, he has the defender beat. That ball should have been out and towards the back of the corner of the end zone. Let Bourne come underneath it. Easy catch, touchdown. And today we're probably talking about, wow, look at Jimmy. Came through in the clutch again. Didn't play that great, but he came through when the team needed him. That's what we're talking about right now. Instead, Jimmy, I don't even know. He was late, and that's a big problem with Jimmy. He does not have the arm strength to see plays late and make the throw. He does not have that kind of arm strength. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He does not have the arm strength to make up for seeing things late, because his arm strength is it's just not on that level. You saw him, the Trent Taylor on the 4th down at the end of the game. Again, kind of sees it late. It was a good route. He sees him he flips. He like kind of throws off his back foot a little bit. And again, he doesn't have the arm strength. Pat Mahomes can make that throw. Pat Mahomes could be diving backwards and throw a laser and make that throw. That's just, Pat Mahomes he just has that kind of arm strength. Kyler Murray makes that throw. It is what it is. He didn't set, he doesn't plant, he's off his back foot, bad throw, game over. And it's just not good, right? Now, I'm not saying anybody should be calling for Nick Mullins after one game. That's crazy, but you better believe it is on the tip of everyone's tongue. And if Jimmy doesn't ball out against the Jets and the Giants these next 2 weeks, that call from Mullins will turn into a deafening chorus. Believe that. You know, you got to remember, they can get rid of Jimmy this offseason for less than a $3 million dead cap hit. That's nothing. You know, that, and the pressure on the team, you know, this is more than likely a make or break season for Jimmy. And it has started off as bad as it could be. You know, one of my best friends, I've known him for pretty much forever. He's a lifelong Cardinal fan. Hit me up after the game and he said, and I quote, "Jimmy played like CJ Beathard today." And I was like, damn. And the worst part about it is, I couldn't disagree. Crazy. Just insane. The other deflated game ball goes to Coach Shanahan for just a terribly called game. Like I said before, he called the game like it was the preseason. And honestly, for the second straight game, if you know, including the Super Bowl, he was outcoached. He's outcoached. And Shanahan needs to stop beating himself, or he's going to quickly become the next Andy Reid. Andy Reid, before he won this last Super Bowl, was that guy. Great offensive mind, right? And you saw it in Philly, and you saw it in KC. Just this guy who was just an offensive genius, but who couldn't get over the hump, right? He kept beating himself. You know, time clock management was terrible. Bad timeouts, like, you know, that was just the book on Andy Reid. Like, look, if he's gonna get you there, he's gonna be competitive. You're gonna get to some championship games. You might get to a Super Bowl, but he may not be the guy who can get you. He can win it for you all the way, but he's gonna, you know, you want a good offense. You want to. That's the guy. That's what Kyle Shanahan. If he does not learn to stop being himself, he's going to become that guy. You know, that guy who just, offensive genius, but just gets in his own way. He's his own worst enemy. And, you know, I'm tired of seeing it, honestly. And, you know, there's some of the whole thing up. This one loss doesn't mean the season's over. I don't, you know, bad games happen, right? But for me, it's how the team lost that is concerning. That's the problem. It's how they lost. It's not that they lost. The Cardinals aren't a terrible team. I think the Niners are better than the Cardinals, you know, but it's how they lost, you know, and thankfully they have, you know, back-to-back get-right games, if you will. They have the Jets, they have the Giants, two teams that don't scare you on offense, don't scare you on defense. Like, there's nothing about those teams on either side of the ball that you know, the Niners should easily be putting up 30-plus on each team. Like, I mean, these should be blowouts. These should be games to remind everybody, yeah, we are the defending NFC champions. We were 10 minutes from a Super Bowl. Like, we messed up. We had a blip in week 1, but we got right. We're good. Don't count us out. It should be that. You know, and if they do that, we'll look back and say, first week, it was just a blip, no problem. But even if they win these next 2 games, but they look bad doing it, they need last-second field goals or last-second touchdowns to win, or even, God forbid, they lose one or both of those games. I don't even want to talk about that. That's just, let's just pray that doesn't happen, you know. So that does it for, like I said, frustrating game. Niners Cardinals game wrap up. Holy shit. But now it's your turn, fam. I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment and let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being start Mullins right now, how concerned are you about Jimmy in this offense? Let me know. I'm very curious to know what y'all think about, you know, like I said, this is frustrating for me. I'm sure it was for you. I'm very curious to hear what y'all have to think. But as always, thanks for watching. This is First and Faithful. I'm Aaron. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for watching First and Faithful. Here's another video I think you'll enjoy. Also, don't forget to subscribe. New videos every week. Appreciate all the support.